up, everyone? Welcome to No Life Tech Podcast. Today, we're talking about the Microsoft event and the Google event and some other little news sprinkled in there. We're going to try to keep this short, the show nice and short, sweet, to the point. That's their goal, all right? That's the goal. So let's jump into it.
And the Intel event.
And the Intel event, yes. 9700 came out.
And 99 and the 96 and yeah.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the, I don't know. I feel like it's because they didn't drop down to what is it, 12 nanometer? Right?
No, but it's higher clocks and cooler. But I don't get it.
I don't understand how they do that without dropping down to the next size.
Just fabrication process is getting better mostly. So
this is more like an 8700.2.
Yeah, and how the 8700 is like the 77.2.
Right.
But like with
so
two extra cores.
So essentially,
and then the 99 is the 8700.2 with two extra cores.
Or you could say the 8700 is the 7700.3.
Yeah, except the 8700K is 6 cores, 12 threads, and then the 9700 doesn't have hyper-threading.
Oh yeah. Well, they do that for the pricing reasons, don't they?
The made-up Intel ones, yeah.
All of what you guys have said is gibberish to me.
I was just about to ask you what your thoughts are on this.
So
my thoughts are what's good? Tell me what's good and what should I buy?
What's good is expensive, and what's kind of good is cheaper. You know?
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Like it's cool that they're releasing them, but like I'm still just.
No, it's not cool. Spend that money, resources, marketing, all those materials for the 12 nanometer chip or the 7 nanometer, whatever one they're going to go down to next.
They're 10. They're going to 10 because they're on 12.
Oh, 12 now,
like,
they're going down to 10. Okay.
Yeah, but like,
and
yeah,
just
do that.
Going down to 10 as well, right?
Yeah, they're calling it 7, but it's effectively the same size.
Well, there was a recent article that just came out about how Apple's A12 is starting to reach desktop level processing, like Intel levels.
Yeah.
Like it was beating the Xeon processors and other ones.
And that's what they're calling 7, which is what Intel would call 10, because they're also using TSMC.
Yes.
So like I still hate that whole thing where like everyone's just made up what a nanometer is.
Yeah.
And there isn't like an actual like measurement.
I know there needs to be a definitive answer to it all.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know they're still making new shit and pushing it, I guess.
I mean, like some of it's cool. Like that 99K is like I don't see anyone buying it, to be honest, except for like very few people, because it's almost a niche. It's coming out like $560 or $570, which is like, well, at that point, just go buy a Threadripper. Like, go big or go home if you're gonna spend almost $600 on a processor. And like, why would you spend $600 on a processor on what's going to be a gamed motherboard for that processor, basically, if you're at that price point?
Right.
Like, that's just weird to me. And now that's the only thing with hyper-threading, which is, again, just Intel just like pay us more.
I feel
like that's all that is.
I mean, I feel like Coffee Lake was just released.
It's been a year. What's
the name of the new one?
I don't even know. It's just like they were holding.
I'm looking at the motherboards now for.
It's still 3 series. It's just 390 now.
Yeah, it's a Z390.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I just saw this on Twitter.
Oh, they're Canon. They're called Canon. Oh wait, no. Cannon Lake is the 10 nanometer chip.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Canon yet.
No one seems to know what the new name is.
Coffee Lake Part 2.
I guess so. Well, Intel claims it's the best gaming processor in the world. Period.
And it probably is, and it better be for $600.
Instead of Coffee Lake, it's now Espresso Lake.
No, I like that. Cappuccino Lake.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, I like that.
I
mean,
I dig a lake made of cappuccino for sure.
Like this, it's like They just came out with that i7 86K for their anniversary like
That's what I'm saying. I feel
2
like they
months
just
ago.
released the chip.
They just released that like a couple of months ago that was already super overpriced. So they decided to come out now with 9th gen and then make something even more overpriced.
Yeah.
Cause they can, I guess.
Wow.
I gotta give that a wow. Well, here's the article, by the way, if you're watching the video of the. Also, by the way, we're gonna be switching to SoundCloud very soon, so you'll see that over on the website. But this is an article where Apple really undersold the 8. This is from Reddit. Apple really undersold the A12 CPU. It's almost caught up to desktop chips at this point. Here's a breakdown, and then he really does an extensive job at comparing them against a lot of chips on all sorts of really obscure benchmarks. Many of which that probably you won't really see any sort of actual performance gains because you're not into that weird sort of niche section. But if you are, well, he has the benchmarks up, which is pretty cool, and it's actually beaten out. Like for compiling, it's the fastest chip against the 6700K, which is actually the chip that's running this desktop. The Xeon 8176, the Epic 7601. And I think there's more. I just don't think I can see them the way. Maybe not.
Compiling what? But that's still impressive as shit.
Just a random. It's called. It's just like a random. Compiling benchmark. So I'm assuming. He doesn't have the actual.
It's like, yeah. Okay, that's open to broad interpretation, but like that's still pretty cool.
It's pretty. The way that his benchmarks, the way it compiles is literally identical, just like 0.6 more than the i7 6700K. And I use this fucking desktop for all my video editing, right? And what I find interesting, it's a little bit lower on video encoding, but when I encode video on my iPad for optimized apps for the iPad, it's way faster than anything I can encode on this desktop, which is my heavy lifting desktop in Premiere Pro. And I don't know if that's more to do with Premiere's shitty optimization, which definitely has something to do with it, or also just the processing power of that chip. So it's definitely a powerful chip, that's for sure. And they're probably gonna get more powerful, especially when they put these chips, like they get that X version and they put them in the iPads. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Fingers crossed next week.
Let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, they kind of did it with the MacBook Pro, where they kind of just released it. They didn't even have a conference for it. So maybe they'll do that with these new refreshed iPads.
I mean, if they're expecting to really do, like, if they actually are doing the whole edgeless display, Face ID, upgraded chip, everything like that, no, that you got to have a presentation for that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not like just a new little refresh. That's like a actual broad design change.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, tablets and such, Google just released their keynote, which was
wow.
It was very, very bad, in my opinion.
No, like, yeah.
It was not
like
good.
No, it was like, especially compared to last year. Like last year had tons of wow factor. Mm-hmm. Like they brought out a bunch of stops of things like really cool. Some of them were products, but some of them were just what the products were supposed to do. And then this year was like, we got a phone and a smart hub.
Yeah.
And this other thing.
Well, we have a new phone.
We can't show you the phone because we're embarrassed.
We have a phone that we're embarrassed to show you, Amazon Echo, and the tablet, which is actually, I think, their best product.
No, the tablet, yeah, we'll get into that. But like, just
real quick, by the way, on the website, you'll see right here on the video, I was live blogging it, so hopefully we'll do more of this. It actually worked out really well, and I was able to upload with images and all this stuff mobily, which was pretty dope.
Cool.
Well, anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Well, they started it off with talking about smart hub thing, which is like, some of the features seemed interesting if you're really into smartphone or smart home stuff and you already have existing smart home crap and appliances. Like if you have a thermostat, like if you have a Nest thermostat, for example, like they had some cool things interacting with that, or like
Yeah.
security features, things like that. Like some of it did look cool on the software side. Hardware wise, it's ugly as shit.
I don't think so. I think it looks nice.
Like it's I think it. Well, I think I'm thinking it's ugly because they already had. No, they already had the Lenovo smart display, which is kind of really similar to it, and I think the Lenovo one just looks way better.
This one's a little girlier, that's for sure. It's got a girlier vibe to it.
It's like, dude. It reminds me of like the G4 iMac.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is to me, and I'm just like,
I could see that.
This is not a good design.
I mean, any male is probably gonna opt for like this charcoal color or this white color, and even those are a little bit girlier. And then the other two are just straight up like pink and teal, which is just I'm not gonna put that in my house.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, I was trying to like it because like there is like some charm to it, but it's not like.
But the thing is, it's not $130 or something.
$150. It actually, price wise, wasn't terrible.
I mean, for a smart hub, it beats everything in my opinion.
Yeah.
Price.
Like if you're like, you need, especially if you want a screen, like I know it does, and you actually have all of the stuff you'd want to hook up to it.
Yeah, I have a Nest Cam, and I have like Philips Hue lights, and that's about it. I would love to have a Nest thermostat, but I don't have a fucking thermostat.
Yeah, same. I'm not gonna
like
do that.
A smart lock, or it's not
right.
I don't, I just whip my phone out and turn them on real quick. Seems to be simple enough. But if you are super engaged, I could see it being kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah,
at that price.
No, at that price, it's pretty solid. That actually impressed me a lot. But I think they had to make that because, like I said, they already have the smart display coming out from Lenovo that they kind of partnered with, and it's the same price.
Yeah.
So I think the Lenovo one's like 160 or 130.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and it's very similar.
The thing is, though, I don't really see the Lenovo one, and I see the Chromecast and the Google Home everywhere. So I think at least distribution-wise, this will do well because they just had that distribution already.
I mean, the Lenovo one's just finally coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they announced it at CES or whatever, but like it still is like just finally shipping, I think.
I wonder which one has a better screen. Do you know?
No idea, but I would guess the Google one, and that's mostly just because it's slightly because it's a Google product, so I think they would want to make it more of a flagship thing and make it a little bit better. But it's also, I mean, we've been waiting 8 or 9 months on the Lenovo one. Since like that design's been finalized, so they could have put a better screen on it because they've just had more time.
I could see it in the kitchen where you want to pull up recipes, you want to watch YouTube while you're cooking, and that's kind of cool. That's about it. I really don't see my Google Home sits in the corner there, and I really want to get rid of it and replace it with an Alexa device or just something else. I don't really know if I want a Google Home, but it's pretty compelling, when they show you're in the kitchen and you can whip up a recipe and do all your social media on it if you want. Like, it's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, the whole display thing seems good, like cool to me. And I think for the market they're aiming at, they actually did some like software side things that would make that a lot more compelling.
Yeah. All right, and then the Pixel Slate, which is this tablet device, which you can see here on the screen. It's got from what I heard, they haven't really shown the resolution specs, but from what I heard,
2000.
Yeah, it's 3000K by 2000K, or 3K by 2K, which would make it a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is dope. 293 pixels per inch, and that's and it's OLED, so it's a super nice display.
It's not OLED.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's The Verge had a good article on it. It's something similar to just normal LCD, but it's different. If it's different than a normal LCD, how it like deals with lighting the diodes.
Oh, right. I remember they were talking about it. Yeah, it was like it's got like a fast LED rate or something, or LCD rate.
Yeah, like they're using like a different type of crystal for the LCD.
It's just a fancy LCD.
LTPS, low temperature polycrystalline silicon.
Oh.
which of course they have to brand as molecular display because fuck you.
That's interesting. I have no idea what that is. I'm trying to
But
think of any displays that are even
I
similar to
think
that.
no, it's supposed to be faster, but more importantly, it's supposed to be much more power efficient.
That's good then.
Is the bigger draw to that.
That's good.
But I am interested in seeing it in person because that was definitely what they tried to hype the most.
Yeah.
Was we got a baller screen on this.
Yeah. And plus you got the dual front facing speakers, which is nice. It comes with like or it doesn't come with it, but you can get the keyboard with it and then a pen. I want to know how good this screen is, like color accuracy wise, brightness wise, color gamut wise, because this could be a very compelling, iPad replacement if you really want to do some sort of art and stuff like that, which is what a lot of people use the iPad for. And if that's the case, that's pretty dope. But I also don't really know Chrome OS too well. I don't know how many other apps. Like, it makes me, at the price that they're pricing it for, like a higher end version, which would be one I would get, then I'm going for the Surface every day, just because it really
Honestly,
is.
yeah, I would go for a Surface, and I'm a big fan of Chromebooks, but like I'm really interested in it, and I want to see reviews, and I want to hold one in my hands. But like where the pricing structure ended up going,
Yeah,
that's like
pretty
to
high.
get a maxed out one that will actually do what you want it to do in Chrome OS is a little bit harder.
Right.
Because like I wouldn't get a maxed out one just because like I mean, okay, I have Linux apps now, which is huge if you're like a developer or like into writing and coding shit. For artists, you don't want to deal with Linux.
No. And that's what I'm saying.
Like,
and if you're a developer, do you need a $800 tablet?
And
hybrid?
well, sometimes, hybrid, no, probably, but for like doing like the art stuff, like that literally comes down to, do you want an Android app or do you want an iPad app? You want the iPad app
all day. And do you want the Android pen, which whatever the fuck the pen is, I don't really know it, or do you want that pencil?
No, dude, their first pen was actually pretty good for the Pixel Book. No, I liked it.
As long as it has all the pressure sensitivities and the tilt and stuff like that.
It has all of that, and it was 20 milliseconds response time. It was competitive with both the pencil and the Surface Pen.
Interesting.
So it should still be a good pen. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'm really interested in it, and it seems really cool, but I'd have to hold one in my hands. But it's the pricing where it gets really...
I mean, I'm thinking
it gets
like
really
just
dumb.
Surface.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it starts getting into that hard range of like...
Or a nice iPad and save a couple $100.
Exactly, because what the pricing is, it's $600 for a Celeron processor, 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, a low-end Ultrabook.
No, just like a low end anything.
Yeah,
that's
you get
that's
a nice
like
display, but are you able to even watch 4K video? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you could maybe push through it. I mean, that's literally that's your generic $150, $200 Chromebook.
Right.
Like, and for people who want a really nice one of those, it makes sense. But you're going to cost $600, then you have to pay $150 for the bridge keyboard or $200 for their keyboard.
Right.
Plus, if you want the pen, it's an extra $100. So you're down you're like up to $900 for a $200 Chromebook.
Yeah. A nice display.
If you go to $700, it's still the Celeron, but you get 8 gigs of RAM. That's a lot more usable because Chrome, most of the things you're going to do on this laptop, most likely, you're going to be a lot more memory limited than you are processor limited.
Right.
So like, okay, so then you're at $1,000, like all bundled together. Or say you want the M3, which is decent enough, like that's an extra $100. If you're getting to the i5 that they offer,
it's up to like $1,500.
Yeah, it's like $1,300. I mean, you're straight in the realm of MacBooks and good Surfaces, like good any normal computers.
Which makes me think, like, why
this could be a really good normal computer for most people, but that top end market's gonna be really, why are you buying this?
especially when you're trying to sell them on an Android product.
Well, it's not Android. It just can use Android. It's still
Right.
mostly just Chrome OS in the web browser, which is arguably almost a little worse or better, depending on your take.
I mean, did
'Cause,
you
like,
see
most-
their Chrome OS like tablet specific setup?
Yeah, it seemed interesting. It's one of those things like I'd want to see it in person. I'm not sold on it, but this was definitely the most interesting product that I could see myself wanting.
Me too. And I saw it, I was like, this is kind of cool, especially that display. I want to see how it does with like photo editing, video editing. If it can't like do real good video editing or photo editing or
There
any
is-
editing,
There is a possibility of that too, because I can't remember if it was them. I think it was Google who was working with Adobe to try to make a mobile version of like Premiere and Photoshop.
yeah.
So like if that ends up becoming good, then it could be a decent niche little editing rig.
Yeah. That would definitely for me personally, I would need something like that. I mean, if they're going to use like a severely limited editing app like what they have now on like mobile devices, then it's just not worth it. Then you just go the Surface or you go an iPad and you already have. I mean, it's hard for Google because they are breaking into a market that has experience already. So it's kind of rough for them to just jump out of the gate with something like this. But it is compelling. I just don't know at those prices. I lean way heavily towards a Surface product. It looks
It's
nice,
also
though.
yeah, and it's one of those things where I think use case is going to come into it a lot. Cuz like it's Chromebooks, dude, I keep wanting Chromebooks to get really good. Cuz like they have that potential, especially for me for like more peer development stuff, like where I can just here's a focused environment. Like this is kind of very interesting. The other big thing is I would totally go buy one of these for my mom. Like hands down.
No way.
Oh, I would. If I wanted to buy her a nice laptop, I would buy her this because she can't fuck it up.
I would get her a Windows machine. It's already
I wouldn't.
comfortable on it, or I would get her an iPad.
I wouldn't. Like I would totally get her a Chromebook 10 out of 10 times because everything she does is just websites. It's Facebook on her laptop. It's weird game sites that half of them are viruses that I have to go reformat her hard drive for her. Like with this, it's literally, oh no, you turn it off and it's completely reset. Like I would 10 out of 10 times buy a Chromebook. And if I was going to buy a nice one, I would consider it.
I mean, for people like that, I'm not getting my mom anything like that. I got to get her. She's like, she knows nothing. I got to get her an iPad where you click the Facebook app, you go to Facebook. You click the internet app, you go to internet. You know what I mean? Where it's just like how like when she knows how to share photos now, which is nice. But it was a yearly long process of showing her exactly how to say, okay, you click this and then you click the share button. So it's just two different type of moms, I guess.
No, I think that sounds the same thing because it's the same thing, but that's why I would get her a Chromebook. Like a Chromebook, I mean, there's a reason why kindergartens are given Chromebooks. Like, it is really stupid how simple it is. Like, you hit the Chrome button, you're on the internet.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you want the Facebook app, you download the Facebook app just like you would with an iPad. The thing is, if anything happens to that computer, I can completely factory reset it in 15 seconds. And like anything she does open is in a little stupid container that's only going to affect that and not the entire machine. So like for people who do dumb shit on the computer accidentally out of not knowing, it's a wet dream of just like, oh yeah, here, I'm just going to hold down 2 buttons. It's factory reset. Just log back in and you're good.
Interesting. All right. Well, then there's the phone. The most disappointing aspect of the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
The leaks were all true. They tried to come out with this fucking commercial where they were like, you don't know the whole story. No, the one that came out yesterday or 2 days ago where they were like showing all the YouTubers like, oh, this is the most leaked device ever. And then they're like, yeah, but be ready for this. what's in store. Everyone was like, okay, maybe those leaks were fake. Maybe they sent those leaks out on purpose to do a little bait and switch. No, they did not do that. There's no point to that video, and it kind of everyone was just shaking their head like, why would you even put that video out? So the leaks were right. You're getting a big fat notch with 2 dual lenses in the front, and a big old chin on the bottom. It's the ugliest phone, in my opinion.
And they got rid of Panda.
They got rid of the Panda. You're getting not pink, and you're getting what's the other color?
Black or white.
Black or white. And the white has a mint button on it instead of the orange, I think, was the other
I
color.
guess they might have a Panda. Someone's holding an orange regular. I think you can get a regular one that's a Panda. And then the XL's not Panda, it's a mint.
Oh, okay. I mean, the
smaller one
one's
looks
cool.
better.
The smaller one looks more like a usable device.
Yeah.
And I can see that being pretty popular over the big one. I mean, if you're a Pixel guy and you're just more function over form, then it's a compelling phone, I guess. You know, to me, it's just like, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
I'll go
not big
hold
on
one.
Android, so I'm not gonna get one. You know what I mean? If they came out with like a DSLR-like camera, or even just a better camera than what they came out with, same sensor and all that, then I would still be compelled, because that's what would really sell me.
I mean,
to go to
pictures
Android.
look fucking good.
They look good, but do they look better than the Pixel 2? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, the Pixel 2 is already so fucking good that you're really getting into that incremental. How good can you get?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But like how ugly that is. Like, I'll have to see it in person, because I'm seeing in articles people are like, no, it actually does look better. It's still fucking terrible, but it looks better in person than pictures. And it's like, maybe, but God, that's ugly.
it's just so deep.
And that's coming from someone with a Pixel.
And
Like,
I don't understand why sacrifice a notch like that for a portrait lens on the selfie screen, which no one is going to use. And then
People probably use it.
I don't know, man. When you take your selfies, you kind of want them nice and wide. You can capture whatever. You don't just want your face, you know?
Nah.
If they went wide and then
this
ultra
is one of
wide,
those. I think this is one of those questions where it goes back: are you male or female?
yeah, I
Trust
guess.
me, my girlfriend takes a hell of a lot of selfies just herself trying to do makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
Where it's like, no, you don't want to. You just want that portrait mode of just you, not your disgusting bathroom that you haven't cleaned.
Yeah, that's true. Then I guess that's what it's for. That's just the only reason why they decided to do that.
I mean, it's
It doesn't do anything else. It's not like
Yeah.
it's an AR camera or anything. It's just a extra lens.
like yeah. It just looks so weird, especially with the big chin.
Yeah, it looks so dumb. It looks
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
That said-
the smaller one looks great.
I mean,
It's got
doesn't
a
look
chin and a
great.
forehead.
It looks fine.
It's got a chin and a forehead, but
it looks more symmetrical, which looks better, but like it still looks so big, and that's mostly because they've been getting the side bezels down so small that it seems so disproportionate.
like tall, you're saying?
Yeah. Like it just seems like tall chin for no reason.
What's the actual size on it?
I don't know what the actual size was.
Because if it's like around the size of the iPhone XS, then that's not bad. It's not too bad. But with a chin and a forehead, I don't know. I lean more towards that just because the front screen looks normal, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
Even as someone with a notch, that notch
it-
really doesn't get in the way. That one is pretty deep.
I mean, I can see that working with some of the way Android's set up, but like I use my phone to watch a lot of content. That'll be hell.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
That said, as disappointing as the hardware is, like some of the software really cool to me.
Yeah.
Some of the things, especially they did with their camera, was really cool to me.
Yeah. Some of this, I like the AI search that they were doing. The dude was wearing sunglasses. You could take a pic and.
There was that.
look up
Did you see like their cool autofocus too?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was actually really cool and impressive. Like,
I mean,
where,
how
like,
dope
they
would it be
had
if they had they made an actual camera?
right? That would be awesome. Because like for people who didn't see it, they had basically they were trying to take a picture of a dog who was like running around in 80 different directions. Literally just clicks on the dog and it stays focused on the dog the entire time.
Yeah.
By just like predictively following it. And it's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sort of autofocus is the reason why a lot of people stick with Canon, because they have it's the phase detect.
Yeah.
And I
But,
mean,
like,
it's a game changer.
That actually going fast on a phone, because I don't think anyone's gotten that figured out on a phone yet.
No.
Which that was really cool to me.
No.
But like,
I don't know how it works in practicality, but
exactly.
We'll see.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it's looking like the biggest difference between mine and the new one is, do I want a slightly better camera?
Yeah, software side.
Like I liked most of the software stuff, and it was like, I'm gonna probably get that anyway with this phone. So hardware wise, it's just,
I don't know why. Maybe they shouldn't do a yearly release. I don't know. It seems like they're inexperienced, and I guess the phone game is showing here. Maybe they're just experimenting. I don't really know, because it's all software. It seems like they added to it. There's really not much difference in hardware besides bumped up specs, an extra lens on the fucking front, and that seems to be it. And wireless charging. You get Qi charging now. I think that's one of the coolest parts about the device, is how they frosted the glass on the back. So it was still glass, but it's a frosted glass. So it feels better, and it doesn't get fingerprints, and you can Qi charge on it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the back of the phone, you're like, damn, that looks like a really nice looking phone. But then you flip it over, and you got the fucking smiley face looking at you. And he's just like,
yeah, pretty much. Because like, I don't know, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, no hype for me for this phone.
Nah, me either. I was kind of disappointed, man. I really wanted to see them release something that made me think, damn, why did I buy this iPhone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want that sort of competition going on.
So do I. And like, there's
Google
times they have it. I mean, with the Pixel 1, I thought there's a reason why I bought it. I think it's a great, amazing phone. And then in Pixel 2, like, it had a little bit of screen issues. Outside of that, it was really compelling to me.
Yeah.
And then this is,
the Pixel 2 was what? The best Android phone you could probably get.
Pretty much. I mean, like,
there's a lot of competition in Android.
I remember people going at, like, tech conferences and just going around to, like, all the big tech YouTubers and just being like, okay, so what actually is your daily driver? What phone do you actually use the most? There were probably 40% iPhones who all said iPhone literally because of iMessage. Yeah. And then the rest were all Pixel 2s. Those were the only two phones that everybody had.
Yeah. I don't expect anyone,
that's not going to be the case this year.
No, definitely not. It depends. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna be the case. It's just there's not enough of a jump between, especially Samsung's Note line and the Galaxy line are so good this year, and then you're up against, of course, the iPhone but it's just at a different sort of market where it's just people get iPhones. So like I said, dude, I think Google, I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't know what their game plan is. I don't know how they're trying to break into things. Because imagine if they came out and they released a fucking camera. Not like the little clips things that they showed that one time. But like an actual nice camera with a good lens, and they teamed up with like Hasselblad and they put all of their tech in a camera. I would buy something like that, immediately.
I think, yeah, that would be awesome.
Or
but
like
I think
a TV. Like if they had just a Google TV that had Chrome or Chrome OS in the TV, I'd buy that immediately.
I think that's what they should do if they were serious as a hardware product company. And they're not. And I don't see they are.
And you can't make a phone company if you're not a serious hardware company. That's like the top of the line.
Well, yeah, they've always been, because they've always had the way they've always done it is they've had a flagship model of what Android should be. Now they're trying to make a phone company, and I think they gotta get their shit together. Yeah. Because all the other products have always, like, all the, like, the Pixel Book, everything like that has literally just been like, here's a product launch, but really this is for our employees. and like you can buy one too. Like that's even how I almost still see the Slate, just because that's how like the original Pixel launched. Not the Pixel, the Chromebook Pixel, the original Chromebook Pixelbook. No, now it's the Pixelbook, the original Chromebook Pixel.
No,
Cool
I don't
thing.
know. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. I only know the Pixel Book.
You don't know the original one?
I'm trying to remember. Original Chromebook?
Chromebook Pixel. They had one in 2013 and 2015.
I don't know. Unless I'm thinking of something else. It's called the Chromebook Pixel?
Yeah.
Let's look at it.
They made one in 2013 and then again in 2015, and then that's why last year they made a Pixelbook. And it was like they were basically, here's a good $1,000 laptop for our employees to do their work on.
I've never seen this in my life.
You've never seen this? It's a cool laptop, I think, if you want a really cool Pixel.
What the
or
fuck?
Chromebook.
I've never seen this product.
You haven't, dude?
No.
Hardware-wise, it's fucking really nice.
I've seen the Pixel Book.
Yeah, and this is the
first
original.
version?
Right. This is what the Pixelbook came from.
What on
Was
earth?
the original Chromebook Pixel.
Yeah. Look at that. And it has a trackpad?
Yeah. No, it's just a laptop. It's a $1,500 laptop that runs Chrome OS.
I've never seen this product in my life. I've never even heard of it.
Exactly, because it's a lot of their
Well, that makes
hardware
sense,
where they
then.
started was like, hey, we're gonna make this for employees, but I guess you can buy one basically.
Well, that's not what they're doing with their phones.
No, they're trying to become a real phone company, and that they need to get their shit together.
I mean, they did such a great job last year. It was such a compelling option, especially as Android. It was the Android flagship. This year, I don't know. They just fucked up this year. I'm not gonna put it. I mean, if you think about it, it's their third phone. You know, iPhone has had 12, 13 iterations of a phone, so they've had so much more experience. Same with Samsung, HTC, Nokia, all those companies. I mean, it takes a lot. You know, it's not an easy thing. So they just fucked up this year, and I really think they only fucked up because it seems like they were just trying to get a spec bump, and then they added a little bit too much stuff. Then all of those leaks came out. Then they came out with that stupid video saying like,
Well, I mean, they also just, I don't know if it was a parts thing, getting parts for it or what, but they just had a terrible design choice from the start.
yeah, they should have did some more. What is it called?
You can't
with that.
You can't not have a headphone jack with a chin and a fucking gigantic notch.
It's got it all, dude. It's got all of the things you don't want in the worst way possible. The biggest chin and notch, and then no headphone jack.
I mean, I can see the HTC in it, so.
And it's $800, which
that's
isn't,
for-
in my opinion, the pricing isn't that.
You can get an XR cheaper. That's what kills me.
You can get an XR cheaper.
You can get an XR cheaper than the regular Pixel.
Yeah.
And the original Pixel launched at $650. That's where I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not paying $800 to $1,000 for this.
Mm.
Not at all.
No.
Like
Right now, it's,
650,
in my
like
opinion,
650, competitive, sure. I can think about that. 800 to $1,000 for this, and I can get
and this is for the lowest end model too, you know.
right. Or I can go get an iPhone with the top tier chip cheaper.
Or if you want, you get Samsung with the best display, expandable storage, headphone jack. So, and for like an Android option, I think Samsung is the cream of the crop right now. That Note and that Galaxy line is really,
Hardware wise, yeah.
it's just nice. It's just a nice phone, right, Doobie?
I can still never recommend Samsung software.
Oh, you're saying no? You don't like the Note?
I love the Note.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I just don't. I see all these phones. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like not the target audience for a lot of these phones right now. Like,
You got a Note, so you're a target
the
audience for like a hardcore phone.
Yeah, the Note's doing me fine, and I don't see anything coming out that catches my eye as like even the Note 9 is like if you already have a Note 8, there's no real reason to upgrade.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way with phones, even on the iPhone side. There's really
It's starting to become diminishing return.
No, yeah. Like the biggest reason I'm looking for one is because I want a bigger screen.
You're also
on
on
the same,
the first Pixel, right?
yeah,
So you're
and the
2
same size
generations
body.
now.
And it's, yeah, no, it's more like, I'm honestly, because I don't know, I've seen a lot of people like complaining about speed issues with, I can see with Android, but like with Pixels, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck are you doing with your phones? Because like I haven't had speed issues, I'm having battery issues.
Maybe
But
that's
that's
what's killing the speed on some phones.
possibly, but it's like for me, it's like, yeah, I'm having battery issues because it's a 2-year-old lithium-ion battery. Like,
I had.
it's
I mean,
it's gonna die.
if I pull out my Samsung now, you won't believe how slow it is, and I don't even.
And I mean, yeah, I can see that. It's just like for me, it's like I've never really had an issue so far with like the speed of it, but I'm pretty boring with it. It's like, oh, I'll check Reddit, certain apps, YouTube, and news, and then text and call. Like I'm not out here playing games all day and then trying to look up porn afterwards.
Yeah, me. I really did nothing with that Samsung phone. I took video sometimes, but that was about it.
Yeah, it's Samsung for you, dude. I don't trust Samsung on the software side. I don't.
It really spoiled my experience with Android. It really did. But that was also I hear Android's gotten a lot better. I do want to play with some more Android. But the Apple ecosystem's too lucrative. It's too luscious. All right, let's talk about Microsoft. We got some new Microsoft products. Again, not very exciting. So we'll kind of hurry up with this.
Same shit, new name.
Yeah. So it comes out in black. You get the Surface Pro 6. The black looks sick.
I am a little salty. Yeah. I want the black one now.
The black looks sick.
Like the black does look really cool. Yeah. But like really it's all spec bumps.
Yeah,
that was it. There's all spec bumps. And then can I have one tangent?
About the USB-C?
No.
Oh, okay.
Even though that's a whole nother tangent of stupidity. Can we talk about the Surface Studio?
Yes, please go.
Did you see?
I still want one, sort of.
I know, so do I. But it's just like, why? Why are you doing this?
Well, from what I hear,
they updated the Surface Studio, claiming screaming new specs, new cutting edge, next gen graphics, this and that. They put a 1070 in it, so no new RTX cards. That's understandable. It's only been out for a month, and mobile stuff's not even out because all of this is mobile parts. But then they put a 77 in it, or like they upgraded 77.
Yeah.
Okay. They put a 7th gen Intel part in it, and literally.
Well, that's what they did last year.
I know, but like the next week, 9th gen was introduced, and you're like, "Here's a new product with 7th gen. By the way, it costs $3,500."
Yeah, they did that last year. They put in the underpowered or mobile chip with the 960M mobile graphics card. At least this one has a desktop graphics card in it.
But like, bruh.
But
like, it's such a beautiful screen. It is so good, and it's so much fun to work with.
Well, I hear they're coming with a modular Surface Studio soon. That
would be cool, because like actually, like
just sell the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you've never gone and like into a store and gotten to like play with one of those or something, like do it. It is such a beautiful screen. It's the drawing on it's so responsive. Like if you are an artist, this is like a magnificent product, and they keep just fucking it up, and then saying like $3,500.
That's the problem. Is the price? I guess goes a lot into the
screen.
The small size of it as well, and then the screen, and I guess it's so hard for them to produce that they produce like they'll produce one now, and they'll be like, okay, let's put the 2080 thing in there. And then when it comes out next year, when it finally comes out next year, then the next graphics card and the next 3 Intels come out. So it's like they can't really win with that. They need to get better with these companies and say, hey, what's the chip that you're going to release when we release this product? We need that chip in here.
Yeah, like
it is. Awesome.
I mean, it is such a niche product that obviously no one's really buying them, so they can do that. But it's like, God, like if that was modern parts, like I would have to seriously consider going and buying one, because like the screen is that nice.
I would buy one tomorrow. Or if I can replace the parts in it, if I can put my own shit in it.
Because like the way the screen works with the body, the way the hinges work, I know, Like the way it all works together is like perfect. It's fucking genius.
If you look at this image
And then
here,
it's just ruined with Windows, and then it's ruined with Microsoft. Just like
if you
I'm just impressed. It's still not a 67K, I guess, but like what? Oh, God.
if you look at the image here on the screen, you can see like it's like hung up by this stand, and it kind of moves on this bezel. But you can, the way that they manufactured or engineered the hinge, you can literally lean on the hinge and it won't bend down. Like you actually have to physically pull it down. It's really weird how they were able to do it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, and like you can basically put it like wherever you want or need it. Like especially if you're drawing and things like that, like it's so much better. It's crazy.
I mean, it's still, like, if it wasn't so expensive, I'd still consider it to be my office PC, because as someone who's constantly going back and forth between video editing and photo editing, if I could just bloop 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 do my video editing sitting down, have a nice powerful GPU in there, a nice powerful desktop CPU in there, and then when I need to hop into Photoshop, do my Photoshop, I can just stand up and just start drawing on it. That's the dream. But at that price, you're paying for basically a $3,000 screen with $1,000 parts, you know. And I don't know if that screen is worth that much money. It's especially when it's like, I really don't know how good that pen is. If it's Wacom level good, then we can talk. But you need all of those little weird little angles and pressure sensitivities for it to be a true like artist PC. Plus you got all the dials and stuff. It is pretty cool. It just sucks that it's so much. And then you have the Surface, and that's pretty much it, right? And then the Surface Pro. That was the new one. Oh, and then the Surface laptop too.
And all of those were just incremental spec upgrades.
Dude,
pretty
the black
much.
one looks so sick.
Like it looks really good. I want a black one. No, I would not buy it. I already have one, so I'm not gonna go buy one.
The Surface Laptop 2 has the 8650U in it, so you're getting the U processor chips. I don't think it has any dedicated graphics.
No.
3x2 aspect ratio screen. Screen's probably nice.
The screen, like if it's still the same screen or an upgraded screen, that screen's fucking gorgeous. But that's why I'm also interested in going back to the Pixel Slate. That's why I'm interested in that, is because 3x2 aspect ratio is a godsend if you're not watching content. But if you're like doing a bunch of work, I love it.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
And then the whole USB-C thing, they basically didn't put it in their laptops, but they put it on their headphones.
Oh yeah. They also came out with $350 headphones.
$350 Cortana headphones.
That talk to Cortana, they'll talk to your computer.
Dude, are you gonna buy some Cortana headphones?
No, I'm not.
Do with that what you will, I guess, you know.
I any assistance, I just don't do assistants.
Yeah. Good.
I don't do Bixby, I don't do Alexa, I don't do Google Home.
I just forgot about Bixby until you said that. I forgot that.
I was trying to.
Actually, I don't even know where you can see their headphones. It's not like on their site.
No, they were on their site, and they're not in black.
Oh yeah, they're not.
I have that button, the Bixby button on my Android. I have that turned off.
Yeah.
Good.
No, like I like them at home, but that's what I don't get is how we're sticking them on everything now. Like, especially like some of the commercials or things like that, where it's just like or I think maybe it was a Bose commercial or someone, but there's just like a girl on a bus, like watching all these scenes in New York, and just hits her headphones and says Alexa, like on a crowded bus, and it's just like, who the fuck does that? like who is just like gonna be sitting on the bus just like, hey Cortana, add this to my shopping list.
No one. No,
like it's like the Switch commercials all over again. It's like you're making a product for a market that doesn't exist. Yeah. Like with the commercials.
I can also tell you that these headphones are gonna make your ears sweat like a motherfucker. They're using that pleather shit with no airflow in it. Just an experience.
But Jerry, are you telling me that not every single millennial has rooftop parties?
That I bring my Switch to? Yeah.
Always. You
I mean,
gotta
I'll
it,
bring
man.
a Switch to it. Doesn't mean anyone's gonna play it.
You're gonna play Super Mario Party, you know, at the rooftop party.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm sure like 0.01% will do it, but the average person sure as hell ain't doing it. So why are you making a commercial about it? Like, I don't know. That's just a marketing thing too, I guess, where it's just like, no, actually market it towards people who are going to use it that way.
All right, quickly before we go, Panasonic S1 and S1R was released over in September, a couple weeks ago. Basically, this is their mirrorless, full frame mirrorless line. It looks fucking dope. It's shooting 4K 60. Or no, I think this is APS-C. I'm sorry. It's shooting 4K 60. It does not have a flip out screen, which I thought it did, but they said it's like a 3-axle articulating screen, but they lie. It doesn't flip out, so it's kind of a shame. But it's super interesting, and I want to see more. We don't really know too much more about it other than it's shooting 4K 60 10-bit. So you're getting a wider aspect ratio than their other, like the GH5, which is a micro four thirds. So I'm really interested in seeing what this camera can do. We actually haven't seen much else of it, but we know it's been released, so that's pretty cool. The camera market is insane right now. It's so dope. I love what the camera market's doing. The problem is no one's releasing a product that has everything in it, which sucks. So we're all just yeah. Google, if you release a fucking full frame mirrorless camera with a flip out screen and your tech in it, and you will make all the money you want.
And an audio jack, microphone jack.
All of it, everything. It's got to have everything though. Yeah, no one's done it yet. Everyone's still waiting on the Sony A7S III. No leaks, no rumors, nothing. We know nothing about this camera. We don't even know if it's gonna be released. Supposedly they just patented 2 compact cameras, so it could be next year that it gets released. But so far, no one has got the camera that we all want yet. We're still waiting on it. But it's an interesting market. I'm still looking at that new Canon one, though. I want a flip-out screen so bad, and that is becoming, with those lenses, it's becoming more and more of an interesting option. All right, that's it. We'll catch y'all next week for No Life Podcast. Peace. Love you. Bye-bye.